Happy Wednesday, everyone. We got a cool little work set for you guys today with a couple options to kind of play with the squat. It's not a long workout per se, but it is going to be a lot of fun in terms of how we take this thing down. Today, what we have is a little warm up. We have inchworm bear squat for 3, which I'll review with you guys again. It's a little weird, not going to lie. Side lunge hold for 10 seconds per side. Narrow stance squat 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3. Goblet squat hold for 10 to 20 seconds. And then a PVC or towel overhead squat times 5 at a 3-1-3 tempo as well. 2 to 3 rounds of that piece right there. We have our alternating arch up for 20 seconds, arch hold for 10 seconds, and a PVC prone raise for 3 to 10, just to heat up the mid-back, the kind of back portion of the body, and open up those shoulders a little bit. We're going to take that down for 2 rounds. After we get more into more kind of workout, kind of focused movements, dumbbell deadlift, 3 to 5 reps, into our back lunge for 10, alternating dumbbell front squat, 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3 with a little asterisk. So we'll keep talking about that asterisk. And then jump squat for 20 seconds. All right, so nice smooth little work set, get yourself fired up. Doesn't have to be overkill here, just to get things moving well. And then we move into our work set, which is 21-15-9, dumbbell deadlift, dumbbell front squat with the asterisk. So the asterisk can turn into a PVC or towel overhead squat. It doesn't have to be loaded. What we can use here, we can work on good technique, range of motion for that squat. If you're like, yeah, I kind of want to work on that overhead squat, I haven't done it in a while, play with it, have fun with this piece, just take it at a tempo. We'll talk about that in our movement prep before our work set. If you're like, no, I want to load it, then you can load it and do some front squats with it and take it down from there. All right, so 21-15-9, dumbbell deadlift, dumbbell front squat, or PVC/towel overhead squat. Lots of fun stuff. Let's have some fun and get you warmed up, and let's have at it, you guys. Let's get you ready. Okay, guys, let's get those feet underneath those hips. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to start with a little shrug. We're going to pull the shoulders down. We're going to scratch our back, reach through that elbow. We'll come back up. We're going to reach overhead. We're going to get a little shrug again. Come back down, scratch your back, and then reach through the elbow. And from here, and take those arms up and get some little circles overhead. Nice and gentle. We're just kind of moving through that range of motion. And then from there, we'll go the other way, initiating these circles through the shoulder. All right, trying to keep it nice and straight through the arms. And then from here, we'll come back to center, scratch our back, ribs in. We'll reach the elbow, come down, reach the elbow, back down, and reach, and down, and reach, and down. Big stretch. Little shrug. Pull the shoulders back down, we'll forward fold, touch those toes, walk up those shins, we'll step back into our plank. So gripping the floor with those hands, nice and tight. We're gonna pull back into our down dog, keeping those legs nice and soft. Come back into our plank, opening up to that shoulder, pull back and up into that down dog, come back into that nice plank position. One more time, down dog. And then come back into that plank. We'll lower the knees, set that nice table, and we're gonna cat-cow it. So we'll tilt the pelvis, lift up through the chest, big reach. And we're gonna roll up, and then tilt and lift. And then roll up, and then tilt and lift. And then roll up. Come back to a neutral table, set the shoulders, it's core, pull the shoulders together, straight arms, press up, pull the shoulders together, press up, and pull the shoulders together, and press up. Curl the toes, extend up into that down dog, nice high hip, into that nice plank position, tucking and squeezing, press through those shoulders as we tiptoe those feet all the way up. We'll roll ourselves up, big stretch, and then we'll come back down with the arms. And get ourselves ready to go. If you'd like to do another little set of kind of gentle warm-up, please be my guest, pause the video, come back to me. We're gonna start with that next phase of work, which is gonna kickstart off with the inchworm bear squat. So the inchworm bear squat is kind of funky. We just did the plank to down dog. So I want you to keep in mind what we do for our down dog, which I'll show you again. We get ourselves set up, and in our down dog, our
hips are high, all right? So in our bear squat, what we want to think about is setting up in our plank and then pulling our hips back between our ankles. And then we come back straight forward. So we pull back into our little squat, and then we pull and extend those legs.
So now as we move into our inchworm to that, all we have to think about is getting ourselves
into that plank. So I walk my hands out. I'm going to step my feet apart into my squat stance, and then I get tight, keeping my body low, my knees go slightly out. I sit back, and then I push straight out, walk my hands back in, stand tall.
The big thing here is we're trying to stay low, we're trying to stay active through the lats and the shoulders, and we want to make sure that we're trying to go as deep as we can as individuals. So I don't want you to go so far back that you kind of lose your shoulder position or you drop those hips or knees touch the floor. Do what you can to get back there, hit that good position for you, open up those hips and ankles, and warm those shoulders up. From that inchworm to bear squat, we're going to set up in a side lunge hold. So I'm going to get myself in my wide stance position, nice and tall. I'm going to pull my hip back and down, hitting my end range, and I'm going to hold this active position for 10 seconds. Really pushing in through that midfoot, making sure I'm opening up that ankle, and then I'll stand well, and then I'll take it down to the other side. Again, making sure that I'm staying midfoot balance, my chest is up as I can, nice solid position, and then drive out. So it's 10 seconds per side, working on that nice, strong, active position. If you can only get to here and hold here, that's fine. Take it to where you can to maintain stability in the knee, ankle, and that tension through the upper body. After the side lunge, we move into our narrow squat stance. So we're going to move into our narrow squat stance and our squat. We're going to keep it dynamic. So my feet are just inside of my squat stance. They can be touching, they can be closer, depending on how you feel today. But again, our squat initiates the same way. We take the hips to the heels as my chest stays upright, my knees track my toes, and I'm only going to go down as deep as I can maintain that back position, and then I'm going to stand tall. So I'm going to take my time with this. I have a little bit of a tempo, all right? We're doing 3 to 5 reps at a 3-second down, 1 second pause, 3 second stand. And we're doing this so we can make sure we're opening up those ankles, heating up those hips a bit to make those squats today feel a little bit easier. They're going to be challenging, but hopefully we can open up those hips and ankles a little bit more so we can get ourselves going. After that narrow squat, what we're looking at is a goblet squat hold. So we get my dumbbell, right? Or if you don't want to do a goblet squat hold, you can do just a squat hold. So I'm going to get set up in my regular squat stance. My dumbbell is under the chin. I'm going to pull myself back down, hips to heels, knees go out, chest is tall, and I'm going to hold this active position for 10 to 20 seconds. It's very important. As I come up, I stand tall, shoulders and hips rising together. I'm going to show you that from the side so you can see the hips. I take it down, I'm standing upright, I'm standing active, and from here, I'm going to again stand tall, shoulder, hip, rise together, not in 2 pieces, a little seesaw action. You want to come up together. So if you can't quite hold the full 20, hold for as long as you can maintain the position at the bottom, and coming out. That is still part of the movement. All right. Finally, we have our PVC/towel overhead squat. So I have a PVC. When I wrote this up, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do a towel overhead squat if we don't have a dowel or a broomstick or anything. I forgot my towel, but I do have something to simulate a towel that will work just fine. So with our overhead squat, just like any other squat, we get our good squat stance just outside the hips/shoulders. I'm going to get a nice wide grip on the bar, so the bar sits at about my hip crease, okay? I'm going to pull the bar up overhead or snatch it. So for today, I'm just going to work on that little muscle snatch. So I'm going to take it down and pop it overhead. So I'm actively pressing into the bar the entire time. As I go down and I go up, I'm going to take it down. 3, 2, 1, pause for a second, stand slow. So I'm working on keeping my squat mechanics sound and solid as I work through this squat and only taking it as deep as I can. The overhead squat is super challenging, so I want you guys to make sure you're taking it as deep as you can in terms of maintaining position. So I take it down, hips to heels, pressing into the bar. I stay nice and strong in that overhead position, and I stand tall, shoulders and hips together. So if I don't have a dowel, PVC, or a broomstick, right? For me, I have this elastic band to kind of show my towel. You can grab a bathing towel, a beach towel, whatever it happens to be. You're going to set it up at a wide grip as well, so that you have that nice open grip. And with the towel, we just have to really make sure we're pulling it apart and staying active so that we feel that tension on the towel and we're not losing the overhead position. So it's the same thing, we're just using the towel as a tool to maintain tension overhead and give us something to pull into and rip into to keep that upper body tight, okay? Quick little recap, 2 to 3 rounds in that top piece. We have our inchworm bear squat for 3, side lunge hold for 10 seconds per side, narrow squat, stance, squat. Yeah, that's a lot of squat there. We'll try that again. Narrow stance, squat for 3 to 5 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo, goblet squat, hold for 10 to 20 seconds, and a PVC/towel overhead squat for 5 reps, 3-1-3 tempo. Pause the video, take that down, rock it, have some fun with it. We're gonna move on to the next phase, which is gonna heat up our midsection and our kind of erectors and our lower back, just to kind of get some fire there today. So what we're gonna start off with is our arch raise. So from here, I'm gonna get going, and we're gonna start with an alternating arch up. So 20 seconds of alternating. I'm gonna get myself in position. I'm gonna reach forward and back with my right hand, left foot, trying to straighten out, lifting up a bit, working on that long, solid body. I'm going to do that alternating for 20 seconds. And then what I'm going to do is just hold for 10. So I'm going to hold that full arch, or I'm going to hold an alternating arch hold for 5 seconds per side. After that dynamic, we're going to try and move right into that hold. Okay? So again, working on reaching long, nice and active and straight in the legs. We're trying to create a long, tight body. Okay? After that, we can stay right on our stomach, and we're going to work through our PVC Prone Raise, either empty hand or with our PVC or towel. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, pull my ribs in, press my armpits down. I'm going to press my hands down to generate tension in this position. Maintaining that tension, I'm going to lift my arms only and hold for 10 seconds. Trying to keep my arms straight, trying to keep a neck, and trying to keep those armpits pointing straight down as I maintain that nice tight hollow. All right, so I'm trying to maintain that pull ribs and hips together, all right, as I maintain that tension, as I open up those shoulders a little bit, all right. The hands might not come up a little bit. You might notice a little bit of change because we've been doing these quite a bit lately just to heat the shoulders and work on that range of motion under control. So you might start to notice that those hands might be coming up. If not, that's okay. It takes some time and just continual effort like we've been working on to get that thing going, all right? Our main priority focus, body position. Height of arm, not such a big deal, all right? Focus on the body position first. The arm height is the byproduct of that. So as a quick little recap for that piece as well, 2 rounds, alternating arch up for 20 seconds, nice and dynamic, into an arch hold, so either the opposite side arch hold for 5 seconds each, or a double foot, double hand arch hold for 10 seconds, and then 3 reps at 10-second PVC Prone Raise, all right? And then 2 rounds of that, just to heat up the shoulders a bit more and heat up that mid to low back in our work set. Pause the video, take that down, get that core heated up a little bit more. We're going to move into our next phase, which is a little bit more dumbbell work, getting you closer to the movements of the workout. So I'm going to grab my dumbbell quick, all right? So what we start off with is our dumbbell deadlift. So I have a single dumbbell. If you have 2 dumbbells, you can do the conventional. If you'd like to start it off, the first one with a sumo, that's okay. That's what I'm going to show you right now. So the dumbbell is between my feet. If I have 2, I'll just turn them parallel to each other so that I can pick them up well. I'm going to pull the hips back and down, squatting a little bit more than I normally would for a deadlift, but keeping my chest up high. I'll stand tall, and then I'll either keep the dumbbell between my feet for my sumo deadlift, if I have a single dumbbell, right? Or once I do that, I'll bring my feet a little bit closer, transition my dumbbell or dumbbells to the outside, and work on that nice hinge, taking the dumbbell down in that conventional deadlift. So I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see. The sumo and the conventional have the exact same body position, except the feet are a little different. Wider for the sumo, narrower for the conventional. But the hinge is the same. What I want to do is weight through my midfoot. I'm going to pull my hips back as my torso kind of lowers in that hinge. Once I get to my knee, I'm going to lower straight down, either touching the floor if I can or not, but maintaining that back position as I stand tall. So imagine I have that PVC pipe strapped to my shoulders, or my head, shoulders, spine, and hips. It all moves together, and it all stays together. Okay? So with that exercise, we are going to take down 3 to 5 reps per side, or 3 to 5 reps with 2 dumbbells. Your call. From there, we're going to continue to heat up the legs and that hamstring and glute with some back lunges. So I'm just going to stand tall. Feet are about squat stance. I'm going to step back, keeping my body upright, lower, stand, and switch. So working on that nice stacked knee in the front and that stacked knee hip in the back. I'm trying to keep my shoulder, hip, and knee nice and vertically stacked over top of each other so that I can keep that nice tall torso. So if I was to load this, that's prime location for any type of lunging for load, is keeping everything nice and vertical and stacked over the legs and the hips. If you'd like to load that, you're more than welcome to, but don't overkill it. It's just a warm-up. You can gobble it in if you'd like, just to add a little sensation there. If you're not comfortable with the back lunge and you're still building that lunge ability, you can work on that standing lunge drill. So we set up our feet, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, 50-50 weight. The back heel is off the ground, toe point straight ahead, and then I just lower straight down with the tempo, and then I stand straight back up. So if you'd like to do that instead, you are more than welcome. The lunge in this is just there to heat the hamstring up. So if you want to work that as a skill, work it as a skill. Okay? After that, we have our dumbbell front squat. So if you're doing the front squat in the workout, this is where we're going to load up, practice our front squat, figure out what we're going to do for a load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that dumbbell up. If I have 2, I'll hold 2. The dumbbell will rest, the back of the dumbbell, I should say, will rest on my shoulder. And I'm going to press into that dumbbell just a little bit to keep my body engaged in the upper body. Feet just outside the shoulders or just outside the hips. I'm going to take the hips back and down. Nice good squat that we've been building all day long so far. And just work on that nice front squat, feeling out our movement, making sure our depth and our range is there, or whatever our depth and range is today. That's what we're playing with to make sure we're comfortable with our loading. If you are doing the PVC/towel overhead squat, you will take that down. We already covered the points of performance for that earlier in the day, so if you'd like to rewind that, you can. But if you're using that as a in the workout, warm that up again, make sure you're comfortable with it. The more overhead squats you do, the better they get to the work set. So just rock that overhead squat, open those things up, and get ready for action. Afterwards, again, just to heat the body up, we're going to do some jump squats. So again, our 3 variations of jump squat, from kind of start to finish, we have our air squat with a fast stand up. We have our non-jumping jump squat, so we get a little lift. So the heels come off the floor a little bit, and we pull back down with control. Or we work that good squat, drive, and pull back in and work that deceleration. So either option works for me. You have 20 seconds to get some reps in. Again, it's not about max reps. It's about moving well and heating your hips and legs up a little bit more just before the work set. Quick recap, we have our dumbbell deadlift, 3 to 5 per side, or if you have 2 dumbbells, 3 to 5 total. Back lunge for 10 alternating. If you want to work on a slight load, you can, or that standing lunge drill, you're more than welcome to do that instead. Dumbbell front squat, 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3, or PVC or towel overhead squat if you're using it in the workout, 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3, and then 20 seconds worth of jump squats, not max effort, just to work skill, work on that heat in the body, and you'll hit that 2 to 3 times before we start, and then we'll move into the work set. So pause the video, take that down, get yourself ready to go, and then start the work set. The work set today, 21-15-9, dumbbell deadlift, right? If you're using a single dumbbell, just a total count 21, so you can half the reps on one side, half the reps on the other side. If you're using 2 dumbbells, obviously it'll just be 21 total count. Then you'll move into 21 dumbbell front squats, right? Or the PVC overhead squat. If we're doing the PVC overhead squat, what I'd like to see you guys work on is a 3-second tempo down, 1-second pause, and a smooth stand up. So you can work on time under tension, quality of that overhead squat, and being in that down position a little longer and just blasting out some fast overhead PVC squats. So add the tempo in if you're using that in the workout. From there, you'll do 15-15, 9-9, done, all right? So fun little blaster. It's not a long one, but you can get a lot out of this workout in terms of some good movement patterns and some really good mobility and skill work with that overhead squat. So use that overhead squat if you're going to in the workout as a skill piece and a mobility piece. If you're using the front squat, have fun with some external load, but again, still work to that range, work for quality, and have a fantastic day today, you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll talk to you very, very soon.